All right, another word problem up. And the first thing we do, read that question sentence, everybody. Read that question sentence. How many monitors did you buy? All right, how many monitors did we buy? Okay. Everyone, when we read the situation that we have in front of us, the first thing we need to do is, well, yeah, we're dealing with some rather awkward numbers. We have, 6 total digits here, and we have 4 here. I really hope we're not multiplying, right? I really, really, really hope we're not multiplying. So when we take a look, it says, you spent this much money on monitors for your office. Each monitor costs $96.25. Oh, okay. So we have the word each here, and I think at this point we should understand, no worries if this is a refresher, but the word each, to get the grand total, we multiply. To get any of the individual pieces, we divide. Everybody, we already have the grand total. We already have the amount of money that we spent on these monitors. So when we give the word each, $96.25, and we want to know how many monitors we bought, what operation are we thinking about? Multiplication or division? Yeah, that's division. That is division. So on one hand, great, we're not multiplying 6 digits by 4 digits. On the other hand, we're dividing by 4 digits. So either way, we can't really get away from the torture, except I have something for you here. Everybody, we know that we need to divide, right? We know that. We've already agreed on that. What is one way that we could potentially try to sleaze our way out of a question like this, given what we see here? What is something that we could do? Knowing that we have to divide to get the answer, what could we do with the answer choices? Yeah, we could plug them in. We could multiply and see if 22 times this gives me the grand total. If 24 times that gives me the grand total. But either way, that's going to take a little bit of time. Everybody, let me show you the easiest way to get this answer. Watch this. Take a look at the pennies, the 25 cents. Take a look at that right there at the end. Right there. That's what I'm looking at, everybody. Can we all acknowledge the $96.25, particularly the 25 cents? I'm just going to zoom on in right there. Can we all see that? Just making sure. Cool. Sounds good. I'm gonna make some folks rather mad. Anybody who actually tried to divide, this might make you mad. Watch this. Everybody, what does 22 end in? What number does 22 end in? It ends in 2. Sounds good, everybody. Okay. If I multiply 25 cents by 2, what does that end, or what does that become? What is 25 cents times 2? 50 cents. Everybody, does the final amount end in 50 cents? Does that final amount right there end in 50 cents? Oh, no, it doesn't. Okay, so guess what? A's not the answer. And guess what? B's not going to be the answer either. How do I know that? Because if I multiply 25 cents by 4, everybody, what's 25 cents times 4? What's that going to be? Yeah, that's 100 cents. That ends in 0, 0. That's not going to work either. Everybody, what number do I multiply 25 cents by to get 75 cents? What number is the only one ending in 5 or ending in 3? Ending in 3. 23 has to be the answer. 23 has to be the answer because 3 times 25 cents ends in 75 cents. And that's the only answer choice that will end you at 75 cents. It's the only one. And so by logic, not by brute force calculation, by logic, by experience, you understand that the correct answer here is D. All right, and first things first, as always, what do? Read that question. And the question says here, we're trying to find the area. So what is the area of this circular flower bed? Cool. Sounds good. Circular flower bed area equals pi r squared. Now, with that said, my party people, do we have everything we need? Do we have the radius? Is that already given to us? Or is there something else that we have to do? And once we take a second here to understand, we see that it has a radius of 25 meters. So we are indeed already given what we need. So boom, just plug that in, solve, and we're done. So pi times 25 squared is all we have in front of us. So really all we have to figure out is 25 times 25. So 25 times 25, 5 times 5 is, well, 25. 2 times 5 is 10, carry the 2 is 12. Next up, start off with that 2 right over here, and let's keep it going. 5 times 2, that's 10, carry the 1. 2 times 2 is 4, carry the 1 is 5. So there we are. Add these together, and now we have 5, 2, and 6. So that will be 625 pi. The answer is 625 pi, and we are done. So with that, there is our answer A, not C. Excuse me there. Almost forgot to include the pi, but there it is. The answer is A. Super straightforward. Now let's keep it going here to the next one. So here's question number 2. First things first, we want to go ahead and read that question as always. So first thing right here, what is the amount of the discount? So pop quiz, let's see who is really getting this down. My party people, if we are looking for the amount of the discount specifically, what would the percent represent? Again, don't give me the number. Give me what the percent that we apply needs to represent. That's right. Keon, Jaslyn, great job. We need to apply the percent that represents the discount. If we want the amount of the discount, we apply the percent of the discount. It's that easy. Now, obviously the calculations might be a little wonky, but the idea there is sincere and straightforward. So here we go. We have a 25% discount like we see right there. And then we also see the original price of $80. So if we take the percent of the original, we will get the result, which is the discount amount. So with that said, boom, we're good to go. Again, the percent and the result represents the same thing. We want the amount of the discount, so we apply the percent that represents the discount. So with that, we'll move that decimal place over 2 times to the left, 1, 2. And so we have 0.25 multiplied by 80 will give us our final answer, and we're all good. So with that, here we go. We'll have 80 multiplied by 0.25. Pop quiz, how many decimal places are we going to bring back at the end? Yeah, we'll bring back 2. That's right, 1 and 2. So here we go. 0 multiplied by 5, that'll be 0. 8 multiplied by 5, that'll be 40. Then we have a 0 here, so we can move over to the 2 that's right there. So we'll have 2 multiplied by 0, which is 0. 8 multiplied by 2, which will be 16. And then from there, we add everything back nice and easy, and we'll have 0, 0, 10, carry the 1, and then 2. And just like we already said, we'll bring back 2 decimal places, 1 and 2. And so our final answer for the amount of the discount itself is $20. And there we go. Booyah, we're good. So remember, my party people, it's all about representing the formula the right way to make sure that you can get your final answer. Excuse me, I put 25, the answer is 20. But it's all about understanding the formula, not memorizing, but understanding it. Now, if you're asking, well, coach, when do we subtract? Well, think about it like this. What do you do with a discount when you're trying to get that final price? A discount means you take that amount away. So we would subtract when we're trying to get that final cost after a discount. If you're wondering when we're supposed to add, that is when we're trying to get the final price after a tax. So we'll be running into those situations today. Don't worry, might be next problem, might be 3 problems. I can't really give you, any sort of hint. Just gonna give it to you and see what happens from there. So let's go ahead and go over to question number 3.